Alright, guys, as of the time of me recording this, I just got back from New Jersey. I was, going over to see somebody, but, I have returned safe and sound at home. I had some uploads scheduled, but, we're gonna try to get back into the swing of things, and we're starting off with, Internet versus Emu's emotional truth. So it seems like there is an update regarding the defamation lawsuit that Emu is in with Miskf. The last time we talked about this, we reacted to a Quinthio video where Asmongold, his lawyer, basically was, I think, pushing to try to get Asmongold's case dismissed. And it seems like that's more than likely what's happening, because Asmongold, I'm pretty sure, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure Asmongold was careful with his wording for legal reasons, despite the fact that he was on Emu's side. But we're gonna just watch this Internet versus video, and, yeah, this is the update in regards to Miskf and Emu.
Last week, there was a major update in the Miskf-Emu situation, after Emu filed a motion for dismissal on Miz's lawsuits, arguing why her claims in the livestream don't constitute defamation. In the motion, her lawyers used the term emotional truth multiple times, specifically referencing her statements about sexual assault levied at Miskf. We'll read that section of the document here in a moment, but many creators in response had a lot to say. Even Miskf himself, who went on stream emotional, saying that Emu lied and ruined his entire life due to a lie.
Whoa, it's almost like Miskf is performative and very narcissistic, and I almost just don't even want to believe anything he says, because he's not exactly a very good reteller of information.
And overall, the emotional truth argument has caused an intense debate between users online, arguing over what the lawyers really meant. There's a lot to get into, so let's just jump in. Welcome to the Internet versus Emu's emotional truth. Now, the entire document will be linked in the description if you want to read it yourself. We won't be reading the entire thing, but we'll read this relevant section. On page 17, for reference, Shunk is Emu and Mr. Dino is Miskf, and it starts by saying, Emu's statements contained her protected, quote, emotional truth. And it goes on to reference a case that they're pulling this statement emotional truth from, saying, Texas law had long held that even a verifiably false statement is not defamation if the context of that statement reveals that the statement was merely a reflection of an opinion, not a statement of fact. And it says, in Court of Appeals, First District recently took up this exact issue in a case strikingly similar to the one at bar. In Benson versus Guerrero, a daughter made a TikTok video in which she accused her stepfather of sexual assault and accused her mother, a famous wrestler, of knowing about the assault and refusing to do anything to protect her.
Jesus fucking Christ, wow, that escalated quickly.
The mother and stepfather filed suit, alleging that the daughter's claims constituted defamation because she accused the stepfather of the crime of SA and the mother of the crime of tampering with a witness. There, the daughter was able to take advantage of the Texas Citizens Participation Act,
TCPA. Okay, gotcha. Texas Citizens Protections Act is, I don't know what it does. I guess we'll get more context as we go through. I'm not entirely sure what it fully does. It's got to be like multiple things, right?
PA expedited procedures to move to dismiss the defamation claims filed by her mother and stepfather. Here, Miskf filed this case in federal court in order to avoid the TCPA, because TCPA would give Emu and the other defendants the opportunity to actually address his false claims on the merits, and in this case quickly. In Benson, the mother claimed that the daughter made several false and defamatory statements that seemed factually verifiable on their face, including that the mother 1 knew her daughter had been sexually assaulted by her stepfather but did not care, 2 characterized the sexual assault as a mistake, 3 told her daughter that the assault was not the mother's problem, 4 failed to protect the daughter from sexual assault, and
what a fucking shitty mother, can I just say? Like, fucking a mother not caring that your own kid is getting sexually assaulted by your father. Not only, like, we realize that the mother is like an ultimate cuck in this situation, right? Whatever. It's unrelated to the, like, Miskf Emu thing. It doesn't really pertain to it, but it's just fucking, I just think that's crazy.
5 abandoned her daughter in support of the stepfather, who she knew had sexually assaulted her daughter. The court analyzed the entire context of the video, noting that the daughter expressed her unhappiness with the estrangement between her and her mother. The court held that the entire context showed that the daughter's statements were not actionable because she was sharing her personal viewpoints, i.e. her own emotional truth, and not purported facts.
I guess I don't know everything about the situation, so she probably could be lying about it, and given that this relates to a defamation lawsuit in the context, they could be just using this as a point to be like, oh, this is how you can prove that it's you can't file for defamation in this case. That's really what they're mainly doing here, so...
Then it references the Guerrero case, but it continues. Here, with the context of the entire 90-minute live stream, it is clear that Imru was telling her own emotional truth, explaining how their relationship came to an end and the struggles Imru endured during their relationship. The live stream was spontaneous, unedited, and unscripted, underscoring that Imru was not delivering a rehearsed narrative, but instead was speaking openly and vulnerably in the moment, her truth as she experienced it. Like the daughter in Benson, Imru's allegedly defamatory statements were either non-actionable statements of opinion, or merely opinions masquerading as fact.
So, to break this all down, I think that this is referring specifically to when she called the situation sexual assault. In case you guys haven't kept up with the Miskf Emu stuff, I've covered it on the channel. But in case you haven't, just like a TLDR, basically what happened was Emu was like crying. She had tears running down her face. They were talking. I think they made out at first. She didn't really set any boundaries. And then eventually... Miskf like reached in her pants to try to have sex with her basically while she was crying, and I'm just like, what about somebody crying turns you on, right? And like Miskf, if you go to Miskf's, I think in I believe when he first leaked the Techone stuff, the Techone court documents, Miskf, I believe, according to his testimony about the Emu stuff, he was like, I misread a boundary and whatever. That was his testimony of it, but obviously, if somebody's crying, the first thing I don't think of is fucking, can I put my hand in their pants to try to have sex with them? So at the very least, based on Emu's testimony, which I don't think Emu has lied whatsoever, I don't think that she has been dishonest. At worst, if you want to not be charitable to her, I would say like the least charitable good faith interpretation you can give is the fact that she, it's possible that, like, her retelling of events is incorrect, but that she's not lying, because she was very truthful about basically, like, everything. Like, she showed receipts for Miskf relentlessly stalking her, and the fact that he would get angry if she did better than him in any way, or if she played, like, a tank in WoW or something, which is, like, fucking insane. So... yeah, I mean, like, we knew that Miskf was, like, a horrifically abusive, and... like, he also stalked Emu ruthlessly for, like, I think 10 months, like, after they broke up anyways, so that part's true. I could see maybe some people looking at this with no context thinking, you know, it's somewhat, like, Miskif's side is somewhat believable if you don't have the previous context, but to anyone else that's been actually paying attention to the story, I just don't really see this fooling anybody. Like, I really, like... I don't know, my take still remains generally the same as it was when I first covered this situation, for the most part.
Then they attach a quote from Imru's live stream where she says, so basically, I felt like I was kind of stuck in a loop where I felt like I had to constantly perform and like prove my value to not be thrown away. But at the same time, if I ever performed too well, I was going to be punished for it. And it just felt like a very rough situation to be stuck in because, I mean, streaming is my hobby and my job. Like, it's a huge part of my life, even before, you know, I met him and became like a larger creator. And I remember thinking all the time how it felt like he hated me, but he still wanted me around for his channel and like his thumbnails and everything. And it continues saying, these statements are nearly identical to the daughter statements in Benson. Emu is expressing her heartfelt emotional journey over several years with an admittedly toxic man. Her story is admirable, and in telling it, she is stating her emotional truth, not some statement of decisive fact.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's... the only thing, I guess, that would be concerning is obviously, like, Miskf and his lawyer are probably going to try to push on this point really, really hard because, like, in a defamation case, the general strategy is to try to poke as many holes as you can in a story and also find any opening to be like, oh, they definitively said this as a fact, to try to, like, push for the fact that this is indeed defamation. I don't know. I just feel like... I still think at the very least it was a form of attempted sexual assault, even if it wasn't, like, a legitimate sexual assault. Like, I just think that this is, like... I don't know. I don't really think my take has changed. And like I said, Miskf didn't really have many grounds to sue for a defamation lawsuit.
Interestingly, the Benson case also directly dealt with the question of whether accusing someone of...
It also doesn't help that Miskif's retelling of events constantly changed. Like, when he first responded to the situation on his stream, he basically confirmed Emu's retelling of it at first, and then he, I guess, like, sort of changed his story back in, when he revealed the Techone stuff, saying, "Oh, but I misread a boundary or whatever." It's not really consistent with what Miskif, like, Miskif has been known to lie about shit. And that's the part that, like, makes me not really want to believe his retelling of it.
SA constitutes defamation. There, the daughter used the term sexual assault without explaining exactly what occurred between her and her stepfather. Unlike in the First Amendment complaint, there the court had the benefit of the daughter's entire statement to review. The court held, quote, because the Texas Penal Code defines a criminal offense as sexual assault, and Guerrero published a statement that Chris had sexually assaulted her, without further explanation, the words Guerrero used were reasonably capable of a defamatory meaning, i.e. that Chris had committed the criminal offense of sexual assault against her, end quote. For purposes of the TCPA, this was sufficient for the father's claims to survive the initial challenge by the daughter. Miskif will certainly focus on Imru's use of the term sexual assault and argue that Imru's statements were necessarily defamatory because they include the same term. However, in comparison to Benson, here, Imru described in detail the exact nature of Miskif's assault against her. Bizarrely, this is the one sentence that Miskif actually quotes in the First Amendment complaint. Quote, he started kissing me in my face and I let him do it, ... And then suddenly he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shove his hands down my pants and I screamed. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat. Taking the whole context of Imru's statements,
it's totally possible that that specific scenario may not legally be sexual assault, by the way. It's completely possible, but I think at the very least it was like an attempted form, because I really don't understand what turns you on about reaching into somebody's pants when they're crying. I just don't really see how that can turn you on.
Into account, as the court is required to do, the situation is very different than the stepfather and Benson. Imru describes exactly what happened to her, and although she defines it as sexual assault, a reasonable viewer would unquestionably understand that the term is her own description of what happened to her. The viewer is not left to guess as to the nature of the assault based solely on the term sexual assault, like in the Benson case, which focuses on the fact that the daughter did not actually describe the alleged assault.
Yeah, okay. After reading that paragraph, I think that it's Miskif. Like, I mean, we already knew that Miskif had no case, but I am going to reaffirm that here. Miskif just has no case. I feel like the odds of Miskif winning this case are, like, slim to none. It's fucking... there are no grounds for any defamation here, I don't think.
Just like in Benson, Imru's statements are not actionable as defamation because they show her personal viewpoints, i.e. her own emotional truth, and not purported fact. The court should dismiss the First Amendment. I
mean, regardless of if you think that Imru's retelling of sexual assault is inaccurate, she's still very truthful throughout the entirety of her retelling when it comes to her Miskif, who fucking abused and stalked the shit out of her.
In a complaint as to Miskf. XQC reacted to the situation when Yi tweets this clip with the caption, XQC says he was right about Imru's SA claims, calls out LSF for deleting threads.
Stating her emotional truth, not some statement of decisive fact. Oh, gosh. Oof. So is she walking back the SA claims?
XQC was right. Yo. I was right. And I got shit on for it, as fucking always.
Well, just because it doesn't fucking fit the legal definition of sexual assault doesn't mean that there wasn't any attempted sexual assault that, like, didn't occur. You know what I mean? Like, suddenly now people are going to look at this and go, oh my god, Miskif was right the entire time. And it's just like, okay, great. I love that the internet can just extrapolate one piece of information and be like, everything changes or whatever. I don't know. Like, it doesn't mean that, like, an attempted sexual assault didn't occur. I feel like people are just getting the wrong interpretation from this.
I was on the fucking money. 1-to-1.
I mean, Miskif at the very least, like, admitted that he attempted to try to have sex with her. At the very least.
Directly on. And I got fucking relentlessly shit on for it.
She's like, oh no, that's my emotional truth. You know, that's not a statement of facts. It's my emotional truth.
What the fuck is an emotional truth then?
Well, I mean, the reality is that, like, Imru's lawyer is not going to be able to definitively prove that a sexual assault did occur, because I don't think either of them were recording the incident, or I don't think either of them have any legitimate evidence that it did happen. It's just testimony from Imru, and unfortunately they can't definitively prove something like that, even though Imru is a pretty credible person, and she's not a liar, to my knowledge. Or based on everything that she's talked about in the situation, I would say she's a fairly credible person.
Bro, the damage is done, dog. Emotional truth, statement of fact.
Well, I won't be insensitive, but the way that the story was said when it happened, I mean, I give it some pushback because I thought, yeah, that's not what that looks like. Why do you start getting deleted?
I mean, I think it's... I mean, I don't agree with it, but I think it's fine to say that technically calling it sexual assault is inaccurate based on what happened. At the very least, it's still, like, a form of attempted sexual assault, but I feel like at this point, we're being a little bit, like... I feel like we're playing semantics a little bit here for no... I mean, I guess technically attempted sexual assault's not as bad as an actual assault because, well, no bodily harm was done, but it's still pretty bad. I feel like it's not really worth hyper-focusing on that one detail.
No. You know what I mean? Like, because Miskf, people brigade it. Can I be honest with you? Shit gets bought and brigade all the time. When it's about like debunking the Miskf shit, it gets removed and whatever. I think it's fucking weird. Like I think this LSF shit is getting crazy.
And Tav replies, is Asmongold going to apologize to Miskf? Or does he only care about false allegations from women when it's not one of his friends doing it? And Harbush says, no false allegations whatsoever. It's a motion to dismiss. She considers what happened to her to be SA, that it's her emotional truth as protected by the First Amendment. Hence no defamation. Hence request to dismiss with extreme prejudice. That is not false allegations. And Retard Raider says, it is false
Whoa! That's a name and a half.
Allegations and trying to get out of making them. The statement basically says that while it was not legally sexually assault, she was emotional and felt it was.
I mean, at the very least, based on what she described, it was attempted. Like, I feel like that's still bad. I don't understand why people are trying to fucking hyper-focus on this detail and then suddenly extrapolate that, like, every single allegation in this regard is false. I'm probably going to be in, like, the minority of people that think this. It's just fucking weird. I understand that we have been traumatized online by tons of false allegations. I understand, and, like, wanting to be skeptical about shit. It's good to be skeptical about allegations and not believe everything instantaneously without looking into it and being an irresponsible fuck, because there's a lot of people that are like that. So I understand where some of this comes from. But I also really just don't... Like, for this of all situations, I just don't know. I don't really think it's, like... I just don't think that this is the correct way to interpret the information, truthfully.
It was sexual assault to her, so that is why she made the claim. That is not how things work. She lied.
I don't think she lied. She's been pretty credible. Like, saying that... Listen, if Emeru's recounting of something was incorrect... That's fine. You can say that if you think that technically she was incorrect about the way she described it in the moment because it was very personal and probably traumatizing for her, no doubt. But, like, why instantly go to her being, like, bad faith or lying about it or trying to be deceptive? Why instantly go to there? Like, what leads you to believe that?
And Mr. Brightapple says, Miz admitted all allegations to be true during his Demon Time segments.
At the very least, yeah, he admitted to a lot of it. And also, like, everything else that makes Mizkif not credible is, like, the actual videos we have of the abuse. Like, you can hear in one of Emeru's stream segments, he's, like, banging on the walls in the background and destroying shit. You can hear him in the background, subtly. And then the fucking, like, also the stalking for 10 months after they broke up is fucking insane. Like, there's just very little charitability you can give to Miskif. Like, Miskif is not suddenly an innocent guy just because Emeru may have technically misworded it as, like, sexual assault, maybe, from, like, a legal or, like, a, I guess, technical, in-the-moment, like, situation. I feel like people are, like, focusing hard on, like, one point to try to, like, poke a hole in Emeru's entire story. It's surprising that a lot of people are falling for this.
He calls multiple people rapists, yet he starts crying on stream for views when the same energy returns to him. That is why you treat people how you want to be treated. And McDoof...
Well, if he's talking about Techone is, like, actually a rapist, so, like, whatever. Not that Miskif is an entirely good person. Miskif's the wrong person to be calling him out for it, because he's not exactly a virtuous person either, but...
It says, admitted, sure buddy. He explained it from his perspective. Some of the things that she said he agreed with, being toxic and somewhat controlling.
So, okay, if you're, by your own logic, if he explained it from his perspective, wouldn't that mean what Emeru explained and everything else that she talked about in her retelling was from her perspective as well? Like, wouldn't that go both ways? Like, if you're using that logic for Mizkif, you have to use it for Emu, otherwise you're being inconsistent here.
Not enough to be canceled for. The issue is the SA allegation, which was obviously BS listening to both of their...
Not enough to be... So you're telling me that, like, you stalking your ex-girlfriend for 10 months after you guys broke up, and then fucking ruthlessly abusing her, both verbally and physically, and just, like, being an absolute fucking menace to Emu, and being disgusting, quite frankly, to her, that's not enough to be canceled for? This guy has never been in a relationship in his life. I'm letting it... Like, whoever this fucking person is, this guy has never even been on a date in his life. I guarantee it.
Mammoth Cobbler also posted this clip on the livestream fail subreddit, and SB2104 replies, pretty much saying even if it doesn't meet the legal requirements for SA, no defamation took place. Dismiss. And Freestyler replies, most people either don't understand the legal argument or intentionally misrepresent it for their agenda. And Chris replies, I genuinely can't tell if Miz falls into this category or not. I don't want to believe he understands it, but purposefully twist the narrative for the kids he's pandering to now. And Win Munsun says, his lawyers certainly understand it and would have explained this to him, I presume. Velsork says, is she walking back the SA claims? No. There's a paragraph at the beginning of this doc that pretty much says Emu stands by everything she said and that if it comes to it, she is willing to testify and defend herself in court, but that this document specifically is focused on dismissing the defamation claim.
That makes sense, because Emu, again, like I said, Emu hasn't really lied in this story whatsoever. People are claiming that Emu is a fucking liar. There's just nothing that would lead any good faith person to believe that she's lying. Again, you can say that maybe she was incorrect about one thing, but just because somebody is incorrect on something doesn't mean they're intentionally trying to deceive people when they talk about it. And that's like the weird undertone that people are saying when they say she lies about it. It's so weird.
This quote about emotional truth is just one piece out of a 20-page motion to dismiss, where they cite like 15 cases of precedent and come at it from multiple different angles to cover all their bases. Here, as far as I understand it, they're using legal terminology to say that even if he didn't SA her, it still wouldn't be considered defamation. Remember that this case is Miskf suing her for defamation, so the burden of proof is on him to show that what she did fulfills the legal definition of defamation, not for her to prove that he legally SA'd her. And then he attaches an edit saying, from her motion to dismiss, for clarity, Emu strenuously denies the claims alleged in the First Amendment complaint and is confident that she will defeat plaintiff's claims on the merits. However, for purposes of this motion, Emu merely moves for dismissal of the First Amendment complaint, or in the alternative, a more definite statement, on the grounds of its legal inadequacy. She looks forward to proving the lack of factual merit in the First Amendment complaint, if necessary, should the case progress past the pleading stage. And the commenter continues saying First Amendment complaint here is just referring to Miskf's lawsuit against her and Asman OTK, which already had to be amended once.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Asman is like either at the very least he's like close to getting the case dismissed or he's already got it dismissed. I don't know. Obviously it's a whole process, but I imagine Asmongold, because he's so fucking rich, he was able to afford a pretty damn good lawyer to get this like out of his way as soon as he can.
This is my porn account replies, wow.
That's another name and a half. The names of this video are certainly interesting.
A lot of misinformation on this sub 2 days ago. Everybody was saying she said she lied.
Yeah, that's just not true. She didn't lie. Anyone who's saying she lied just like looked at one piece of information or probably just like scrolled through their fucking Twitter feed and just believed a random Twitter post saying, oh, she's a liar. Like, okay, dude. All right. I love people that just don't look into shit whatsoever and run with things as if they are a fact. You guys are part of the problem.
An according sort replies, bro, are you guys dumb? Like, actually? What do you expect him to write? Yeah, my client knows she done goofed and is actually just gonna forfeit this one. She knows she ended his career and cost him millions of potential earnings, so she's giga down to just pay up. It's their job to minimize the damages, even if she's found guilty.
That is true. Again, she is the defendant here and she's getting a defense lawyer. That is true.
Them writing that what she wrote might not have been the factual truth, but instead her emotional truth, is basically like some dude claiming insanity. Yeah, I know I said in that chair saying I carefully wrote out a script and now I'm going to tell you everything that happened, but when I said that, what I actually meant was I just kind of vibed and said what I felt. So JK, and the harm to his career is totally not my fault. Just for the sake of not being too dumb here, they're always going to say she stands by what she said, because they have to. It's already been said. It's not a Reddit post that can be edited after the fact. Not standing by what you said equals admission of guilt. Why the fuck would she ever never do that. Even if both her and her lawyers know she completely fucked up, they're still going to tell her to stand by what she said and fucking pray the judge has a different perspective. Or Miskf rolls up with literally zero prep and zero proof.
Well, typically how it works is, you see this with so many court cases, and it's pretty much like almost always the case, where, you know, the prosecutor and their lawyer, they're gonna try to poke holes and try to give the defendant's story the least charitable interpretation as best as they can, and the defendant is gonna do the same thing, but vice versa for the prosecuting lawyer. And then typically the jury and then the judge will meet in the middle somewhere, and usually it resolves in like a settlement or something, but it's not really anything like too crazy, I would say, in most cases for lawyers. But again, like I said, I don't think Miskf has any real grounds for defamation here. I mean, we knew he didn't at the very beginning of when he was about to sue them, but still.
They luck out. Even if it's a GG for her, she has to push back to minimize the damages. Anyone with half a brain can see that Imru destroyed Miskf's career, so if his lawyers prep well, she's gonna get shafted. And the fact she sat down that day and basically started her talk with, "I carefully wrote out the script and I prepped super well for what I'm about to say," is probably the dumbest thing she could have done, because it's pretty fucking hard to then roll up on the take backsies. Best friend also tweets out the clip about XQC, and Leia Sapienzi quotes it as saying, "If Imru is going to walk back her claim in court, then it's only right."
Also, I'm like off topic before we move on. This fucking Reddit post got like 15 downvotes. Damn, I guess you really pissed a lot of people off with that one. I didn't particularly think it was that like bad faith, honestly. Maybe it was bad and I didn't realize it, but I didn't think it was. I mean, it is the lawyer's job to fucking do defense or whatever, and like they usually like meet in the middle somewhere. I guess a lot of people, it seems like a lot of people really do just believe that like Emru straight up lied about sexual assault, and I don't see that here at all.
That she walks it back publicly and on stream. Also note that her team is able to file a motion to dismiss. Why haven't they worked on the restraining order? I am utterly curious. And Harbush replies, she hasn't walked back anything. Neither you or XQC seem to have a clue about legal defense strategies or how to interpret court documents. Holy shit, the brain rot is unreal, and the lies and misrepresentations being spread is off the chain. She literally stands by her essay claim.
Thank you. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, somebody gets it.
And
somebody's not a total fucking AI on Twitter.
Leia says, if she's stating in the lawsuit that her version of essay is different from the public's interpretation, then that's her misleading the public. It's there in her motion to dismiss.
That doesn't mean there wasn't an attempted sexual assault or her, like, not standing by her claim. Like, that's literally not what he said. Okay.
And Har says, except she doesn't make that claim whatsoever, and there is no indication of this in her court documents. It's her protecting her rights under the First Amendment to her opinion and truth, making it a non-defamatory claim. Again, just admit you know nothing about lawsuits. And Leia says, lol, go read the motion that Emery's team filed. It's right there, clear as day, you troll. And Har says, there is no walkback and you were getting stuck up on lawyer legal speak. Since you don't understand how this works, you probably shouldn't comment on it. You are taking a legal defense strategy for a motion to dismiss and pretending like it has any bearing on her essay claims.
Damn, not gonna lie, this Leia person on Twitter kind of got cooked by this random fucking no profile picture person. Jesus Christ, dude.
Substance tweets out this clip with the caption, Queman points out inconsistencies in Imru's defense regarding the defamation suit filed against her by Miskf.
I'm not surprised that Queman is like running defense for Miskf. It honestly does not shock me. A while back when the I'm Alex allegations went live, like Queman went on like Chud Logic to fucking defend I'm Alex, even though I'm Alex is a pretty open and shut case of him being a horrifically abusive piece of shit. So yeah, it honestly, part of me is not shocked that Queman is defending this shit. He's a fucking snarky content creator that might have he's just gonna have the take that's gonna get him the most amount of attention online. So it's honestly like just not even worth engaging with people like him because he's like a massive troll.
The live stream was spontaneous, unedited, unscripted, and underscoring that Emeru was not delivering a rehearsed narrative, but instead was speaking.
He's reacting to Legal Mindsets retelling of it? Why are you reacting to Legal Mindsets retelling of it?
Openly and vulnerably in the moment.
Yeah, this does not fly. No, this is crazy. Feels like it was.
I'm gonna actually replay some of this just so I can actually fucking listen to what he's saying. Because, like, I'm still, like, a little bit, like, taken back that he's reacting to fucking Legal Mindset, the Go East guy. Because he's scared of women in the West, like, having boundaries for themselves.
unscripted and underscoring that Emu was not delivering a rehearsed narrative, but instead was speaking openly and vulnerably in the moment.
Yeah, this does not fly. No, this is crazy. Feels like it was a statement of fact, right? She did not say, in my opinion, that's sexual assault. She said, he sexually assaulted me, I believe, right? The sexual assault.
Well, I guess we'll go and rewatch. I guess since we need the refresher in our head to be, I guess, as good faith as we can, let's rewatch her testimony of what she actually said. Yeah, so this is Emeru's original testimony, and this is the exact timestamp in which she talks about it.
A week after this breakup, he asked to come over to my house and talk for closure. He came to my house and I was crying like crazy because the emotions were just very high because I was dealing with a lot of major shifts in my life as a result of me attempting to start to try to distance myself from him. So yeah, we were just talking and I was crying a lot. He started to try to comfort me by hugging me while I was sitting on the couch and holding me really close to him. And when this was happening, we hadn't talked in quite a while, and I'm usually very uncomfortable with being touched a lot by people that I'm not in a relationship with.
Yeah, and at this point, they're, like, long broken up. That's, like, other important context to keep in mind here. Probably should have mentioned that.
But, I let him hold me while I was crying. And he started kissing me in my face, and I let him do it. I was still sobbing a lot. And then, suddenly, he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hand down my pants. And, I screamed. Yeah. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat, like. And, instead of apologizing or checking if I was okay, he said, "I feel weird now. I feel like I did something wrong. I have to go." And he immediately left my house while I was still crying without, checking if I was okay or anything. And at the time, I was still making excuses for him, and I was still afraid of causing trouble for other streamers around us, or like, you know, making things weird for viewers. I know that probably sounds crazy, but like, I just felt this pressure, like I had to try to keep things together, if that makes sense.
So, unless... I'll play for a little longer, actually, just in case she maybe... Hold on.
Yeah, I felt like I'd cause trouble for so many other people if I ever said anything bad about him, or if I caused rifts in our friend group or streamer group. I tried to stay on good terms with him and hold everything in, and also I still cared about him a lot, and I still at that point had hope that things would get better and that, you know, he would improve. So, unless there is a clip somewhere else in this entire segment that I'm missing, she doesn't actually explicitly call it a sexual assault, even though that is, like, the implication of what she is saying, at the very least an attempted sexual assault. So I'm not really sure where in particular people are getting that from. Maybe it's, like, one of the trigger warnings in the beginning of her video, perhaps. But in this particular part, she didn't really call it a sexual assault explicitly. And also, like, watching this clip and refreshing my memory, I feel like, if anything, this just proves that she has a stronger case in court, because she was relisting her account of her events, and she even was, like, charitable to him more than she should have been, like, right after that. So, again, I just don't think there are, again, all the more proof that there's no grounds for any real defamation lawsuit going on here, or any defamation for that matter.
So, today I'm finally going to be opening up about the blank sexual assault blank.
Oh, it is in the beginning, I guess. Okay, so at the timestamp 2030. Okay, interesting. So she does explicitly call it sexual assault, just not at the timestamp that I said it at. But even that particular moment of it, she didn't explicitly call it there. So from a legal standpoint, they could just say, the lawyer could argue that, like, you know, that technically wasn't the part that she was talking about. I don't know. There's like a whole bunch of legal technicalities they could get away with. And we have to talk about it from like a court of law perspective. I know, like, when we talk about things from a court of law perspective, you can't really talk about it from like a moral standpoint or a logistic standpoint. And I know that sounds like weird to say, but that's just kind of how the court of law is.
That Miskf has done towards me. Past incidents of him sexually assaulting me. Generally not being a very nice person. That's my story of dealing with sexual assault. So
I guess she does call it sexual assault in multiple instances of it, according to the timestamps in the legal documents. Okay. That part I guess I didn't see, but still.
Those seem like statements of fact to me. Now, I don't know how that's interpreted under law, but that seems to be to me to not be an opinion, but be a statement of what happened. It was not spontaneous. She announced it several days in advance. Unedited, sure. Not unscripted. She's reading from notes. It was a rehearsed narrative. Yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Miskf will lose, but this seems, like, really bad. Like, this argument does not line up with the facts.
So, as you can see, I wrote out my notes, and not only that, I have even more notes. So, yeah, if it seems like I'm, like, reading a script or something, it's because I wrote super detailed notes because I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything, yeah.
Wonder what's so funny to Queman.
So, yeah,
Dude, did the lawyers even watch this stream? How are you putting this in a filing? How are you putting this shit in a filing, bro?
Well, I mean, she wrote it in notes. I don't think that necessarily, like, proves that on its own that she has, like, an inconsistency in her narrative. I don't really... What? Because she wrote... I don't understand what his point was there, genuinely.
Vezao tweets out these pictures of Imru and Miskf with a caption, 30-year-old cosplayer Imru is receiving backlash after accusing Miskf of SA, later clarifying in a legal statement today that she meant it emotionally, saying that's how the situation felt to her rather than the literal definition after defaming him.
Well, again, that's what they're claiming in the legal court of law.
Mr. Obvious replies, a man loses everything because a salty woman can't handle her relationship failed. Says he raped her, it was real in her mind, and nothing is done about it. There is no justice for men these days. He will never recover. This is why you can't just believe female claims.
I fucking just, like, we gotta stop taking Twitter so seriously. People are so fucking brain rotted on Twitter. They just scroll through a post, they know nothing about anything, and they just say shit. Because this doesn't fucking apply at all to the situation at hand, or what we're talking about here. People really need to just shut the fuck up when they don't know what they're talking. It's okay to not say anything if you don't know what you're talking about. It's okay to not have a take on something. I think that's fine if you are uneducated on it.
And I'm Batman replies, except Miskf confirmed the essay in his own response stream. Inforesca says he didn't, and I'm Batman replies he did.
Fucking Internet Versus is doing the I'm Batman voice.
He started to feel her up. She let out a yelp. He freaked out and ran home. His own words. And this guy replies, he stopped as soon as she said no. That's not SA, that's respecting your girlfriend's boundaries.
Well, she didn't consent to it to begin with. So it would still technically be a form of sexual assault. Just because he stopped when she said no doesn't mean that it wasn't, at the very least, attempted.
And Batman replies, prior advancement while she's bawling her eyes out isn't the appropriate time. He fucked up. And Varesca says, conveniently omitting the time when they were making out for 30 minutes after crying, kissing, and hugging. And only then he made the move. Clip to season post.
No. They were kissing literally as she was crying and she was sad. Like, again, I don't know how being sad would turn you on, but okay.
This clip with the caption, Miskf breaks down in tears after Imru backtracked on the SA allegations. He lost most of his...
Again, she didn't backtrack on sexual assault, but okay.
Viewers, friends, and brand deals because of this allegation.
And although she defines it as sexual assault, A reasonable viewer would unquestionably understand that the term is her own description of what happened to her. The viewer is not left to guess as to nature of the assault based solely on the term sexual assault. Yes. This is what she wrote. This is the fucking person that says I sexually went live with 60,000 viewers and told everyone I sexually assaulted her, made everyone stop talking to me for a fucking year. This is the person that did all this stuff, chat. This person that fucked my life, that I got called a fucking rapist for, is this shit. She literally says it was her emotional definition, not the definition of sexual assault.
Okay, dude.
I have to fucking live with this shit. It's just...
Am I supposed to feel bad for you? I mean, you relentlessly fucking stalked and abused the shit out of her, and other women as well, with Maya Higa.
Like, what the fuck did I do?
I guess Maya Higa was also not a good person herself either, so you guys kind of deserved each other a little more, but still.
Dude. It just sucks, chat. It just fucking sucks.
Wow. You live such a terrible life, dude. Reap what you sow, I guess.
It kills me.
Why is the audio back? Oh, I guess maybe there was copyrighted music and they muted the copyright music, I suppose.
But it's been 4.5 months. I don't have a voice. Everyone took that voice from me. Everyone did. Everyone took that voice. I don't have a voice. This is not going any. No one cares. I still have to do it, chat. I'm fucked up. I don't know what to do.
And Methodical replies, I think the fact he is annoying and sucks is why he lost most of his viewers. Blake says, Lamau, Miskf is just an annoying ass piece of shit. I don't think that he is not liked strictly because of the essay. It's because he is a petty loser that is so insecure he'll punch holes in his walls if his girlfriend plays a warrior in World of Warcraft.
True.
And Small Man says, she won't fuck you, bro. Miskf was one of the biggest Twitch streamers before Imru decided to ruin him. But now her Sims will claim that despite lying about everything, he's still back.
Lying about everything? What do you mean lying about everything? That wasn't even what the court document said. And that wasn't even what people were claiming that the court documents were saying. Bro, how are people like this wrong about everything? People are just so comfortable spreading like misinformation online. It's fucking insane how comfortable people are just like talking about shit when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about. It's fucking mind-blowing. Oh my god, how are you this dumb?
And Blake says, why do you think I watch Imru? Her streams are shit too. I just hate Miskf. Hated him since 2021, and his fall off has been long overdue. Enjoy his bodied kick streams, brother. Your brain is probably as smooth as his. Validate also tweets out this clip with the caption, Miskf broke down crying after realizing how evil Imru is.
How evil Imru is. Jesus Christ. I cannot take Twitter seriously, bro. Thank God I just try not to. I try to limit the amount of time I scroll through Twitter as much as I can because people are just not fucking real on this app. People are so unbelievably stupid on this app. It's crazy.
He stalled for 4 months before,
like people are just not real here.
Before coming forward to claim that it was her emotional equivalent of SA, believing that no one cares anymore. He endured being called a rapist for 4 months by other creators, people online, and even IRL.
And she waits fucking 4.5 months to stall this shit out so no one cares anymore. And her fucking response is that. Like, are you kidding me? And no one cares. No one cares.
Yeah, you're right, Miskf. No one really cares about you. And I, well, don't exactly feel sorry for you. I'll tell you that much.
Like, no one wants to listen. It's so unfair. They go up my fucking throat for fucking cheese clips and say I'm an abuser. And that's her response. Her response is literally that it's her emotional fucking version of it. Are you kidding me?
And Mr. Bright Apples replies, this video of him raped my eyes. I want a full refund.
Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, I guess I feel the same way. I just don't know if I would have described it that way.
Squid Willis says, yeah, he mistreated Imru. It's pretty obvious. Nobody feels sorry for him.
I certainly don't feel sorry for him.
Nuclear Winter says, didn't Miz just accuse someone of being a child rapist last week because they watch a cartoon?
No. according to the court documents, Techone is a rapist, and he stalked his fucking ex-girlfriend, and the court deemed him unsafe to own a firearm for 10 years. So, like, I don't think it's because they watch a cartoon. The court deemed him, deemed the allegations credible enough to at least punish him to some degree. So, yeah, once again, people that just say shit on Twitter when they don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
And Kowuza says yes. And he made fun of someone who almost killed himself. And they're referencing Chibi Reviews, who also makes a tweet himself talking about it, saying, Miskf laughs about me almost dying 2 weeks ago, excited that I lost everything. Miskf calls me a pedo over fiction and helps get people to harass me. Miskf...
Great, we got fucking Chibi Reviews that ruthlessly gives his fucking takes online. The guy that says it's incest and lolicon are totally fine and is friends with Techone and Nuxtaku, who are disgusting pieces of shit.
Now cries about being called a rapist.
It's crazy how everybody in Asmongold's orbit are just such shitty people and, like, insanely gross, disgusting loser fucks.
By content creators for months. People trying to say I should feel bad for him. Nah. And Ninus replies, fuck him. Funny how he chooses to act but then can't take it himself. And Chibi says, I wonder how much he'd be crying if he dealt with what I've been through in the last 2 years. He tweets out this clip with the caption,
You go through so much, Chibi. Wow. Your life's so difficult. You're a fucking privileged content creator who makes a lot of money, and, like, okay, yeah, you got cucked, but, like, again, you justify a bunch of disgusting things, so, like, whatever. Like, I don't think your life is that difficult. It's just fucking hoops that most people probably go through anyway.
Miskf says he won't forgive Imuru even if she took it back and apologized publicly. Thinks that she deserves time in jail.
You realize she's not doing any of this, right? It's her lawyers, and it's for the motion to dismiss your defamation case. So let me get this straight. Her lawyer is lying on her behalf, and her lawyer is saying everything on her behalf.
It's not really a lie, but okay.
That's not true. Do you really think that makes any sense, man? That it's just her lawyer speaking? Is that what you can use in court? Oh.
Why should I believe you? Like, you have been a known liar in the past. Why should I believe anything you're saying right now? Like, give me one good reason why I should believe Miskf right now. Genuinely. Like, give me a good reason.
Yeah, so I committed a crime, but I actually didn't. My lawyer said that when, like, I didn't do it. I don't know why he said that. Like, that's weird. What a stupid fucking thing to say.
I don't think that's exactly what they said, but, okay. Whatever helps you cope, I suppose. Why does he have pink chew on the top right corner?
4.5 months to plan this whole thing out and respond to me, and you're trying to tell me it's just her lawyer?
She also claimed he was doing it to other girls and lie as well, but refused to provide any evidence of it.
Would you drop it publicly if she apologized and took it back? Absolutely not. This is not a public take it back thing at this point. This is, you destroyed everything I ever had. No. Absolutely not. This is not a tweet, hey, just want to update you and let you know that didn't happen. And then, no, it legitimately should be jail time. I'm sorry, it should be fucking, what she did, using women and using the woman card and using what she did should be jail time.
If you say so, I guess.
And I don't know how anyone else could see otherwise. It should be jail time.
Because you're not a credible person. That's just the reality of the situation. Emaru didn't lie about anything in her narrative. And, like, what she described, at the very least, was an attempted sexual assault. That's just kind of where most normal people who have been tuning into this situation are at right now. Like, this is not a case where somebody gets falsely accused. Like, based on her own retelling, you attempted to sexually assault her. At the very least, it was attempted. Even if you didn't actually do it, it's still bad.
I know I'm not the most liked figure. It's partially why she did it. She did it because she knows that I'm not liked. And I know that I'm not liked for a whole different reasons and whole ball games of crap. But nothing compares to stuff like this. Nothing. No tree climbing, no anything else compares to something like this. It just does not. You cannot like me because I chewed on autistic toys or I climbed the tree.
You know that people aren't a fan of you for those reasons. You know that that's not the case, is my point.
Or you just saw a random clip of me, but nothing compares to being called a fucking rapist. Nothing compares to being called an abuser. Nothing compares to those things.
You are an abuser, though. I'm sorry, what? You are an abuser.
An Emerald Apple replied.
Like, based on the fucking video evidence of, like, you punching walls and shit, and, like, testimony, credible testimony at that, where you would speed up a car saying that we're gonna die, I'm gonna threaten us, like, we're gonna die, basically, and threatening to kill both of you in the fucking car.
Meanwhile, he trusts everything Pink says. He knows what he did, and he knows he can't sue Emu for defamation.
If this person is about to imply that Pink Chew is, not a credible person, despite Pink Chew also being very credible, like, that's fucking crazy.
Miskif's streaming career was already...
I think they're trying to make the point that, Pink Chew is, I don't know, maybe they are. Actually, now that I think about it, I do recognize this username. They probably are trying to say Pink Chew is not a credible person. Yeah, this person's like another weird right-wing freak, I think.
In the dumps before Emu's statements. And that is just one thing in a larger pattern of behaviors. Dennis the Menace says, did he put a picture of Pink Chew on
Whoa, it's fake Deaf Noodles?
screen just so Techone can't react to this and think before...
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's actually so... Wait, that's actually a good point. He actually put Pink Chew on screen so Techone would get in trouble if he reacted to... Oh my god. That's actually such a deviously smart thing to do.
Before You Sleep replies saying, fixed it.
Wow. Think Before You Sleep. You really took time out of your day to edit this and, like, put a fucking black square on the top right corner. Techone is not going to fuck your ass, Think Before You Sleep. Like, he's not going to perform the gayest of all sex on you. Like, you really took time out of your day to cover up a fucking black screen just on the off chance that Techone might react to it? Bro. How is this not terminally online behavior from Think Before You Sleep?
Putting a black screen over Pink Chew. Thorgrim Steelfist says, Rape-Kif getting exactly what he did to Techone thrown back in his face. Do we believe both Pinky and Emmy or neither? And
I'd say we believe both. They're both very credible based on what I've seen. Until we are led to believe otherwise, which so far, this entire situation, we aren't really led to believe otherwise of Emeru's testimony. They're just arguing within the context of a court of law. I don't really think that this changes much about my original, or I guess most of my original take on the situation.
Aya says, are you talking about Rape Tone who lost his case and have 10-year protective order?
Don't forget the fact that Techone can't own a gun for 10 years either because they deemed him unsafe to do so as well.
And Thorgrim says, the case wasn't criminal and he cannot be called a rapist factually. Well, Miskf has himself admitted to committing SA and serious harassment and threatening her life, literally while he was driving.
Got it, so you're a right-wing cocksucker. Got it. Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Dirk tweets out this clip with the caption, Miskf debunks Emeru's claims and leaks DMs. Miskf shows DMs that during the timeline, Emeru said she wanted to distance herself from him so he can break up with her, so it's on his terms. Miskf shows in the DMs...
I just don't even think most of these people are worth engaging with. The people that, like, yap on Twitter and fucking, like, are like, oh my god, Miskf is innocent or whatever. These people are just, like, not even worth interacting with. These people are so incredibly stupid. It's fucking, like, nuts.
She kept dating him and even made food for him while claiming that she was trying to distance herself.
Wow, it's almost like getting out of abuse relationships are tough and you still have hope that the person will improve and change and get better. Wow, it's almost like abuse relationships are very complex.
I mean, I literally just debunked multiple things right here. She's trying to say that she broke up with me and that she can finally be done with it. Then why would I say the things I said May 29th? Why would I say that? And then her literally saying,
Read
do
my
you want
book,
to sleep
Art
together?
of the Deal, folks.
Like, why would you want to sleep with me if you're like, oh, I'm just glad we're breaking up and stuff like that?
She made you food.
I'm not even showing everything because I was saving for court.
She wanted finger kiff.
Here's 11/26/2024. Level back up so we can duo again. Meep. Oh, wait, did you die again? Rip. And then we called for an hour. Yeah, really? You were just trying to get it on my terms, right? I was really terrible to you when we played World of Warcraft and you fucking...
Wasn't this before you guys broke up?
You asked me to just level up with you.
Wait, that's like not important. Show the part that where she says she made you food. Right there.
Holy fuck, did Miskf go east?
Up.
Sorry, that was probably a really racist joke. I shouldn't have said that. That was probably a really bad joke. Fuck me, dude. God damn it. I wasn't intending for that to be a racist joke. Okay, god damn it. Alright, whatever. We don't talk about it.
You can call whenever I've just been cleaning. Meep, I made you food 4 hours later.
Oh, never mind. This is 2024. Oh, wait, is it 2024?
No, that's exactly it. I made you food. Does this really sound like a girl who's like, okay, finally, it's like on his terms? You made me food. You're
okay, dude.
letting me know that you want me to come over and eat with you.
Jesus
What?
Christ.
Oh, yeah, low-key, I kind of just, like, want to structure out, like, a timeline for you that you could
How was the
follow.
food? It was good. Chat.
I'm pretty sure they were still together at this point, by the way, just to be clear. Like, so obviously she's still going to do things within the bounds of being in a relationship despite some level of distancing. This doesn't necessarily mean she's not distancing herself from you entirely.
I'll show you what she used to make me. It was good. I'll be real with you. This was kind of like my #1 thing I liked about Emmy. I was like, damn, bitch.
Oh, the food was good. Guys, the food was amazing. Okay.
You can cook. Like, obviously she can't cook up a fucking statement for her life, but damn, like, chat, when a girl's throwing shit like this for you, front row, like, damn, you would question yourself too once in a while. Look at this shit. It was good-ass salmon. It was good. She gave me salmon and rice every day. I know, it was good shit. This is what she would feed me. She would feed me shit like this.
And On My Way replies, and then they broke up. And he spent months begging for her to come back with no answer while she did distance herself. What's his point here exactly? That she was nice to him while they were still dating? Good one, I guess. Validate tweets out this clip with the caption, Miskf lashes out at a viewer in his chat who told him to stop dragging the Emu situation and just get over it.
This dude can't get over it, bro.
Can't wait to see a fucking legendary crash out here.
This woman lied to the world and said I sexually assaulted her, abused her.
Doesn't seem like it's a lie based on her credibility.
And stalked her.
Not right now, anyway.
To the point where now I have to go to Kick. To the point where now that I'm on this website and I'm alone, I have nobody around me. No one talks to me. I've lost all my
Forever alone. That's so sad, dude. Wow.
sponsors. I've lost
Play the clip of Mr. Krabs using the sad violin, the tiny violin.
all my I've lost my community, 10 years of work that I put into this, and forever I'll be called a rapist. Okay? For what she said. And
Okay.
you want me to just get over it.
Oh, my bad. Miskf is not a rapist. He is a attempted rapist, I guess. Oh, yeah, that's so much better. Good stuff.
Bro. Let this girl... This is what happens when you treat women like shit. How did I treat a woman like shit? Enlighten me. So let me get this straight.
Well, you did stalk her 10 months after you guys broke up, and you did, like, get pissed off at her when she played a certain class in WoW that you didn't want her to play, and when she got more viewers than you did on Twitch, and you also, you know, sped up a car saying, we're gonna die, like, threatening to kill both of you, basically, while you're in the car, according to her testimony. By the way, in Miskif's original response, can I just say, in his original response in his Demon Time stream, he doesn't actually address that part at all. I think he knows that there's no way he can spin that particular part, so he just, like, I guess he's gonna, like, pretend that that specific portion of it just doesn't really seem to exist.
Me and Emmy having a toxic relationship and I slammed doors equals I deserve to be called a rapist. Because it's the only thing that's been definitively proven is that I slammed doors. And I punched a hole in the wall one time when she wasn't in the room. Tell me where I treated a woman like shit.
Well, it seemed to be more than once because you were caught in a live stream doing it. So if you were caught on stream doing that shit, like, again, what happens when the cameras are off?
I get deserved to be called a rapist for the rest of my life.
Attempted rapist, I guess, technically.
And Miskf replies saying, a lot of you are asking, and yes, I am suing her, but that doesn't fix everything. I've lost my close friends that I had for 10 years because of this, and viewers and creators I've been around now see me as a rapist. A lawsuit won't fix everything, sadly, but I appreciate you all. And Klinglam replies, you already admitted to it, bro. You lost the lawsuit before it even started. I might have had a little sympathy for you if you didn't go after Techone like you did.
What a stupid take. It's like, I might have had a little bit of sympathy for you. Hey, you know, I might have had a little bit of sympathy for a rapist if you, as long as you didn't go for the rapist that whose content I enjoy and that I'm biased for. Explain how that logically makes any fucking sense to me.
You never gave him the same treatment you're begging for right now.
You cannot criticize someone for being a rapist or an attempted rapist. Sorry, Miskf. I don't want to offend Miskf or cause him to punch any holes in the walls. Sorry. My bad. But you can't go after an attempted rapist and then proceed to defend another rapist who lost the ability to own his guns for 10 years and lost the civil case and was like basically verifiably raping and stalking his ex-girlfriend Pink 2. Yeah. Okay. Either this guy is like one of the biggest fucking idiots on Twitter, or he just doesn't fucking know what the hell he's talking about, or both. Also, why do you have a lolly profile picture eating a burger? Okay, well, I mean, I guess you like Tectone. Maybe that's what resonates with you.
Now, it's pathetic, and Miskf continues to say in a separate reply, to many of you here who do not know, Imru, after 4 months, responded to my lawsuit claiming that the essay was her emotional truth rather than the definition. And Henrik Jensen replies, but Miskf, this is your paragraph 19 in the complaint. Your argument for why the essay label is wrong is that you think her story, which you do not plead falsity to, shows that you respected the line she had drawn. But that is not an observable fact. It's your interpretation of the event, your personal viewpoint, your emotional truth. If you want to convince the court of public opinion, explain what you mean by respecting the line drawn, and how that concept relates to consent, which is what modern definitions of sexual assault are based on.
True. And also, like I said, Emeru did not give consent for him to reach down into her pants and attempt to sexually assault her. That's still a violation of boundaries.
Attaching a quote from Miskf's lawsuits where he says, in the same time, Imru gives accounts of their relationship that clearly do not support the allegations she levied.
I guess, like, a good thing to take away from this situation, this really is a litmus test to, like, if people are actually, like, paying attention to the situation, or if they just really do not care about anything that they're talking about. I think it's a very, very good litmus test there.
For example, in her own description of the purported sexual assault, Imru states that she and Miskf were kissing, he tried to initiate intercourse, she made clear that she did not want to, and he stopped, respecting the line that she had drawn. Attaching a quote that Imru said, saying, he started kissing me in my face and I let him do it, ... and then suddenly he tried to climb on top of me and aggressively shoved his hands down my pants and I screamed. And when I screamed, he jumped off me like a cat. And the lawsuit continues. Nonetheless, she continues to defame Miskf and portrayed him as a perpetrator of sexual assault in a video she knew full well would be viewed by millions. And Vinny Sauce replies, now he has to explain his sexual life to you to win the court of public opinion. Some couples like to do freaky shit, so only them can draw the line. And Henrik replies, why would his definition of respecting the line drawn be freaky? Definitions of sexual consent aren't freaky. They're taught to teenagers in schools. The irony is that he frames it as if she invented her own definition, while his own argument relies on a non-standard concept centered on respecting the line drawn rather than consent. Anyone can look up definitions of sexual consent and evaluate her story against them, but there is no standard definition of a line drawn. So how exactly are people of the court supposed to evaluate his argument that the SA label is wrong? Shout out to our tier 3 members, internet representatives, Kiko, Salsao, Goldus Bandito, Captain Crashshot, Papa Gut,
Based, Papa Gut,
Your Boy, and the Noobster. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Yeah, so my opinion on this has hardly changed, and I guess the only thing that's really changed regarding my opinion is the fact that I will probably be in the minority of people who still stand by most of my original take on this situation. But what else is new in that regard, right? I tend to be in the minority of shit, but I always have the correct opinion, most of the time, so fuck you.